Well, a very warm welcome for friends, and I have the similar honor to introduce Mr. Jasminder Kasturia, a colleague of mine. We worked together in the Ministry of External Affairs for years and years and gained experience out of automation. Ambassador Kasturia has been posted in many countries, and one good thing, if you can see, she is mastered philosophy and Chinese studies. So both different streams, and she mastered in both. So that's much to her credit. And as as is expected, she is very fluent in Hindi, English, and of course Chinese, which she is master of. So without much ado, I would hand over to Ambassador. And before
because थोड़ा focus हो रहा है अब मैं ऊपर जा रहा है जिसको थोड़ा सा vertical हाँ zero कितना आप क्या मैं
going somewhere
करूँ जी is this working fine जी जी बिल्कुल ठीक है it's capturing yes.
Good afternoon, friends. This is the second meeting that I am attending. Of the XENA extended family, and I'm very privileged here to introduce Mr. Shailendra Sharma, who is an epitome of educational and professional excellence. During his over 29 years of work experience, he mostly managed the technology side of enterprise-level large-scale programs and leading-edge solutions. An engineer, a law grad, a management guru, and a freelance consulting professional, he is pursuing his PhD in organizational psychology from University of Delhi. The CEO at Synapse Global. Mr. Shailendra has founded businesses and rendered his services across the two continents. An alumnus of Government Law College of Delhi, DAV Indore, and IIM, he has been associated with ministries of government as well as those of US and Singapore. Credited with publishing 26 research papers, he is also an omnivorous reader. And with all this, he never left out of corporate training, creativity lab, interpersonal skills, emotional content, teams and synergies, communication skills, reading, writing skills, and business protocols. That's, I think, a very, very impressive CV.
they are in competent hands.
Very, very
No, it's a very, very generous introduction. I never think of myself. So let's start so that we can get the ball rolling. What kinds of questions do you like? See, I'll quickly, we are conducting a host of meet and greets, all over India, not just across India, but across the globe. And that is in the post-COVID scenario. What has happened is that COVID created a hiatus, and we could not, actually meet face to face. And lots of people are getting an impression that activities on the ground is not quite happening. And in order to overcome that, what we did was to get these meet and greets, out of the way, so that we have some face-to-face interaction. Even after these interactions, within 1 or 2 months, not everyone would have met everybody else, but then still, because, particularly in Delhi, I think, something like 45, some number is between 45 to 50, we have quite a few members. And in other cities, the number is manageable. So often, all the members, meet and meet in one go. But in Delhi NCR, it's becoming a bit of a challenge. Once these meet and greets are out of the way, and even during this meet and greets, in our interest of time, what we are doing is we are culling certain themes that we can that are actionable, so that we can identify them. We can identify the people. We can identify the path forward. For instance, in the last meeting, what emerged was that we can work with rag pickers because there were three people work that beneficiary group. We can work with battered women, because there are all kinds of women in all kinds of situations, particularly those who need legal services. And we had people there, or we knew people there who had right legal services to such women. So it's about, services that we can provide, the beneficiary groups that we can identify, and no more than two or three beneficiary groups and the kinds of services. If we can narrow it down to that, so that it becomes actionable, and at the end of the day, we have, or at the end of rather 1 year, we have something to show for all this. So that's the key idea, behind all these meet and greets, other than the face-to-face interaction, which is obviously, so much needed. Other than that, during our lunch, we can continue to talk about various things, that are going to come. After each meet and greet, we are trying to give a feedback to the team, even though I haven't seen from the last meeting as yet, but we are still working on that, so that everybody feels that action is being taken after every meet and greet. So it's not just a meet and greet, it's slightly more than that. And each one of us brings in a wealth of contacts, a wealth of experience. Uh, so we can use this platform. This platform, according to me, I've seen in the last 5 years with XENA, it provides a lot of flexibility, and it doesn't, it has never burdened me, or at least not overburdened me. I never felt any pressure to either do certain things or not do certain things, or do things a certain way, not do them another way. So it allows me the right kind of self-expression. And at the same time, there are some of us who are more interested in social causes, while there are others, who, because of the life stage that they are at, they want to actually, make some money, out of the process. Or there are others, who worry about what's in it for me. They may not want to make money out of their those activities, but they may want to or, may want to be seeking other kinds of intangibles. So all of this put together, since it allows all kinds of self-expression and self-interest to happen, or to find expression. Using that is quite often. No, but then the idea is that since it's a very flexible platform, each one of us can contribute, and that's what these meetings are about. So unless you have any further questions, I'd like to get the next step.
One question. I just wanted to know that how many XENA family members today? I think
Rajiv,
Rajiva can answer.
Rajiva, can you respond to that?
Globally, we are 38,835.
How much?
38,835.
Okay.
That's coming as a surprise to all of us.
Rajiva, that
And Delhi
another
and
question.
Delhi NCR has got 78 members.
78. Okay.
Oh,
That brings me to another question. Do you have members in Auckland and Toronto?
Toronto, yes. Auckland, I'll have to look at the mental directory. But Toronto, yes, I did mention to you the other day also.
Yeah. Okay. So can you give me contact details of the Toronto members?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fantastic.
So,
I need to take the-
Mhm.
I met Toronto. Okay, also it's alumni. Okay, so we all met 4 years back. Okay.
Canada, we have a pretty good footprint. New Zealand, I don't know, but Australia we do have some.
New Zealand
No,
can
we-
always start
Okay, so I'll go to the next step. Now I'm going to introduce the Peganago, who's going to give the introductory remarks so that we can set the ball rolling. Bharat Vasadichi, my senior member alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, is currently the CFO at Mahindra and Mahindra.
Till very recent.
Till very recently. He's 84, 86 batch, so he's 7 years
Which
senior
batch?
to me. I'm 91, 93. Okay. So we are 7 years senior to me. But we are also a chartered accountant. And in fact, a rank holding chartered accountant. And got a rank in final as well as inter. And in every batch, you find 3 to 4 chartered accountants, and they are really biscuits, not just at accounting related subjects, but also in math and their quantitative aptitude, not just quantitative aptitude, but the business aptitude in general. They usually are some of the very best students on campus. Other than that, he also got the best paper award, management accounting, in CA final exam. Before joining his last role at Mahindra and Mahindra, he had coveted positions, coveted of course, in financial management with number book shell in with Vedanta Resources, totaling something like 8 years, and then with Mahindra and Mahindra, I think with Mahindra and
9.5
Mahindra
years, almost a decade.
close to a decade. So sir, I'll hand it over to you. Then you have something like 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes is a long time. I'll contribute towards the saving of the time.
Yeah.
Please.
I think
Thank you. Card also.
so. Good afternoon, everyone. So I will, Rajiv भैया से बात हो रहा था मेरा उधर, particularly last 1 week. So I am not, I'm comparatively a newcomer. In fact, one of my ex-colleagues is here. You are also a newcomer.
Yeah. My
So,
first meeting.
but I can
last,
see that a lot of
meeting
people
I
here
did
are much
was in
more
Delhi.
seasoned.
Because
So
of some pressure and all.
तो just ऐसी बात हो रही थी तो मैंने so he said कि हम लोग corporate world में we use English as a medium, and we are basically Indians, and one of the theme of XENA family is that we should be a family and connected to the roots. So using Hindi as a kind of medium of conversation. So normally I'm not used to it, but I'll make a beginning today to use Hindi. तो हिंदी से स्टार्ट करेंगे. तो मैंने राजीव भैया को प्रॉमिस किया था. So I call him Rajiv भैया because he's elder to me. So that हिंदी में ना संबोधन करेंगे. So काफी खुशी हो रही है यहाँ पे आकर के, और पहली बार आया हूँ, और पहली बार एक्चुअली कनेक्ट भी क्योंकि मेरी इनफैक्ट राजीव भैया से भी बात 1 या 2 महीने पहले ही है ना, तो वर्चुअली कनेक्टेड थे पर कुछ पहले बात नहीं. तो ये है कि जेना फैमिली में इतना हार्डवर्क किया है, एंड इतने सारे लोग हैं, एंड पर्टिकुलरली इंडिया में भी और एनसीआर में भी. सो इसका एक बहुत बड़ा एक एडवांटेज है हम लोग सबके लिए कि, और सबके सब जो है बहुत अच्छे बैकग्राउंड से हैं, वेल्थ ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, वेल्थ ऑफ कॉन्टैक्ट्स. तो इन सब से करके हम लोग कैपेबिलिटी है हमारी कि डूइंग समथिंग वेरी प्रोडक्टिव. एंड बस हो गया कि बीच में ये कोविड भी रहा, और अदरवाइज वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड में एक लिमिटेशन रहती है, इसीलिए आज फिजिकल मीटिंग भी हो रही है. तो ये है कि ना हम कुछ प्रोडक्टिव करें. तो दैट इज द थीम आई वांट टू काइंड ऑफ पुट फॉरवर्ड आज की मीटिंग के लिए, कि हम लोग ऐसा कुछ करें अपार्ट फ्रॉम द सोशलाइजेशन एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम
एक दूसरे को ग्रीट करेंगे, जैसे है मीट एंड ग्रीट, बट कुछ इस तरह का सा करें कि हर एक बंदा कम से कम 2 इस तरह का प्रोजेक्ट चूज करे। एंड प्रोजेक्ट का मतलब कोई बहुत बड़ा भी नहीं, छोटा भी हो सकता है। उसमें से एक तो हो नॉन प्रॉफिट, एंड नॉन प्रॉफिट मे नॉट बी काइंड ऑफ कि कोई एनजीओ टाइप का हो, बट समथिंग विच हैज अ सोशल कॉज, और नॉट नेसेसरली प्रॉफिट, आई मीन प्रॉफिट कैन बी अ साइड ऑफ इट। एंड एक हो जो थोड़ा प्रॉफिटेबल ऑब्जेक्टिव भी रहे, कि अभी जैसे इन्होंने बताया कि कई लोगों को लगता है कि हाँ भी इसमें से कुछ वो भी होना चाहिए, जेना फैमिली को भी हम लोग कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं कि ओवरऑल इतना बड़ा सेटअप कि हम अपना योगदान भी दें। तो यदि हमारे जो डिस्कशन होंगे और जो से हम इतना यदि अचीव कर पाए कि हर जना एक एक वो करके चले कि मेरे को है ना एक प्रोजेक्ट करना, 2 प्रोजेक्ट करने हैं, एक प्रोजेक्ट प्रॉफिट के लिए और एक प्रोजेक्ट नॉन प्रॉफिट के लिए, तो दैट आई थिंक इटसेल्फ विल बी अपने आप में एक काफी अच्छा आउटकम रहेगा। एंड actually I want to give a huge compliment to Rajiv here that एक तो इतना बड़ा सेटअप पूरा वर्ल्ड वाइड क्रिएट हुआ है, एंड उसमें सबकी भागीदारी है, मतलब ऐसा नहीं, इट्स अ वेरी फ्लैट जो टिपिकल होना चाहिए एक नेटवर्क स्ट्रक्चर है। नहीं तो क्या है कि नॉर्मली आई मीन चाहे कॉर्पोरेट्स हो चाहे आर्मी हो, सब जगह हायरार्कियल स्ट्रक्चर रहता है। यहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा क्रेडिट रहा है कि एक बहुत ही नेटवर्क स्ट्रक्चर है, विच इज अ वेरी फ्लैट वर्क, ये सबकी एक भागीदारी है और कोई इसमें हायरार्की नहीं बिल्ड करी है। सो फॉर दैट लॉट ऑफ क्रेडिट गोज टू राजीव एंड आई वाज कॉम्प्लीमेंट हिम। एंड आप लोग सबको भी इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ, थैंक्स टू एवरीवन कि टाइम निकाल करके आज संडे के दिन हम सब इकट्ठा हुए हैं, पर इसको हम एक वर्थवाइल बनाए कि बियॉन्ड जस्ट सोशलाइजेशन हम लोग कुछ करने का सोचे। और आज के दिन इतनी सारी चीजें हैं, अभी जैसे हम ये CSI में बैठे हुए हैं, तो यहाँ पे सिविल सर्विसेज के ऑफिसर्स वगैरह आते हैं, तो उनके भी हमारे कुछ हम लोगों को जानते हैं, कॉन्टैक्ट्स हैं, तो कुछ हम गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में भी कर सकते हैं, कुछ हमारे पास में कर्नल साहब भी हैं, तो हम लोग में भी आर्मी में कर सकते हैं। एंड इट कैन बी जस्ट आई मीन जैसे बोलते हैं श्रमदान भी हो सकता है, जैसे प्रोवाइडिंग आवर टाइम। एंड मे बी अब जैसे आफ्टर माय 35-36 years innings in corporate world, अब जैसे मैंने अपनी सेकेंड इनिंग स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ, सो आई डू अ लॉट ऑफ दिस मेंटरशिप एंड सो मेंटरशिप भी कर सकते हैं, चाहे छोटे बिजनेसेस के लिए करें चाहे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए करें। मैंने तो कई जैसे स्कूल के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जेवियर्स कैलकाटा में मैंने एक टॉक दिया था, वही मेंटरशिप वगैरह का, तो इट वाज ग्रेटली अप्रिशिएटेड बाय स्टूडेंट्स कि आप अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बेसिस, बिकॉज उन लोगों को ज्यादा आइडिया नहीं है, तो स्कूल में है, तो इस तरह से हम लोग एजुकेशन सेक्टर में, बिजनेस सेक्टर में, गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में, आर्मी सेक्टर में, देयर होल लॉट ऑफ areas wide open where we can contribute as an family, and उसमें सोशल कॉज भी होगा, और कहीं ना कहीं पे मतलब जैसे आप कोई स्कूल के साथ एसोसिएटेड हो और आप यदि कोई फॉर्मल मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम वगैरह करते हो, आई एम श्योर स्कूल विल बी विलिंग टू रेम्यूनरेट, और आई मीन आप उस तरह से कॉम्पोजिशन भी मिल सकता है, which of course the person is free to partly keep it, partly contribute to the Zena family, whatever और जो भी है मतलब उसको और बढ़ा भी सकते हैं। तो तो ये ऑब्जेक्टिव के साथ मैं जैसे मैं ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लूंगा, मेन ये है कि हम कुछ ऐसा करें। एंड ट्रस्ट मी, जब मैं कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में था मेरे को कभी नहीं लगा कि इतनी सारा द वर्ल्ड इज सो बिग, बिकॉज यू आर रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू योर ओन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड। आई थिंक कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड के लोग मानेंगे, संजय है मेरे पिछले 25 साल से ही इज माय कलीग, हाँ ऑलमोस्ट 97, सो
We were together and we were virtually kids like.
हाँ
छोटे थे हम लोग बहुत.
हाँ, तो जो संजय इज यंगर देन मी,
Yeah, we were I think in our 30s.
हाँ, so I was late 30s, I think Sanjay was mid 30s, इतने साल पहले की बात होगी। सो कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में एक रिस्ट्रिक्शन होता है, बट फिर भी कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड के भी आप अपना एक अलग वेस्ट लाते हो, बट एक बार उससे बाहर निकल के आप जैसे फ्रीलांस करते हो तो इतनी सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज लगती हैं, अपॉर्चुनिटी की कोई कमी नहीं। एंड आई एम श्योर जेना फैमिली विल बी टू हेल्प अस आल्सो, कि किसी को लग रहा है कि कोई प्रोजेक्ट में आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, तो प्रोजेक्ट आइडेंटिफाई और आप अपना एक लिमिटेड टाइम भी यदि आप उसमें देंगे, एफर्ट देंगे, you need not put any capital, goals there, na, I think we can achieve worth lot of things which are worthwhile. And with that, I will kind of now leave it open for the rest of the.
I have one question. Since you're doing mentorship, are you getting remunerated or you're being free?
both
Both.
रेम्यूनरेटिव भी हैं जैसे कई इंस्टीट्यूशंस वगैरह में और बिजनेसेस में करो पर्टिकुलरली तो the startup businesses they give a remuneration either as equity or cash इस तरह से remuneration होता है बट आप यदि सोशल उसमें मैंने एक दो एनजीओ को किया कि वो एनजीओ को क्या है कि उनको था कि भी किस तरह से हम लोग सर्वाइव करें तो मैंने उनको जैसे एग्जांपल मैं दे रहा हूँ तो उनको मैंने बोला कि डोनेशन पे आप बैंक नहीं कर सकते वो एक एडिशनल बोनस सा ही रहेगा आपको अपना कैश फ्लो न्यूट्रल करना है तो उनको काफी टाइम तक हैंड होल्डिंग करिए क्या तो उनको ऑब्वियसली आई वाज आल्सो नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग इनफैक्ट मेरे को चाहिए भी नहीं था बट उसके बेसिस पे वो डेफ एंड डम और इन सबको वो हेल्प कर रहा था एनजीओ तो दे वर एबल टू काइंड ऑफ डिवाइस अ वे कि उनको बहुत ज्यादा सपोर्ट की जरूरत नहीं पड़े फाइनेंशियली वो अपना जितना उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट है वो खुद जनरेट कर सके तो उस तरह का मेंटरशिप दिया तो वो विदाउट एनी रेम्यूनरेशन सो दोनों तरह से है और उसी तरह का मैं बोलता हूँ कि there is enough to I mean enough work to be done I'm sure people from different sectors I mean, like from foreign service army corporate sector whole अभी जैसे प्रोफेसर साहब हैं and one can give again a guest lecture on various things and that again can be both remunerative
Right
as
now,
well as not.
everybody is earning money for the need. How is that going to contribute to Zana family? I mean, that's a question you have to think. Like, if Zana family itself goes for a mentorship program and invites each individual, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they get it. But you are getting it from your own strength, on people are aware of you and are inviting you.
But we can leverage one another, in this kind of a plan.
I'm just saying.
नहीं ये भी अच्छा आइडिया कि ज़ेना फैमिली में सेल्फ रन मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम एंड यू कैन बी पार्ट ऑफ दैट आप अपना बस जैसे होता है आपको श्रमदान देनी चाहिए आप अपना
जैसे
टाइम
हमारे
दीजिए
सोसाइटी में
और उसका जो रेम्यूनरेशन फिर है ना ज़ेना फैमिली को मिले बट आपका भी
what we can do is that Zena becomes a mentoring
Yeah.
organization.
Yes.
All kinds of mentoring, not only financial mentoring.
Financially,
Whatever kind, whatever mentoring.
education is a very big field.
वो
higher
Zena
education
family
का क्या है ना
as a objective उठा सकती है और कर सकती है दुनिया
मैंने तो देखा कि जो
ऐसे लोग करते हैं
10th स्टैंडर्ड के तक आते आते बच्चों को मेंटरिंग की जरूरत होती है स्कूल्स वगैरह में एंड हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा वो नहीं है स्पेशली स्कूल्स में 80% ऑफ द स्कूल्स डोंट हैव दैट और वो बच्चे ना काफी भटके से रहते हैं अच्छे अच्छे स्कूल्स में मैंने देखा इफ यू डू अ मेंटरिंग टॉक the schools are very grateful for that
अभी जैसे लोग
and
पर्सनल लेवल पे चीजें करते हैं 38,000 मेंबर हैं सर 38,000 लोग पर्सनल लेवल पे बहुत सी चीजें करते हो अगर हम वो ज़ेना के ब्रांड के अंडर करें
that is a very good idea
ये ज़ेना का ब्रांड है इसमें छवि ये कर रही है भरत जी ये कर रहे हैं आप कुछ कर रहे हैं हम कुछ कर रहे हैं तो ज़ेना का ब्रांड वो उस हिसाब से ग्रो करेगा वर्ल्ड वाइड
it will be recognized as an institution beyond social institution it will be recognized that it is a renowned mentoring
ऐसे करके वो ब्रांड बिल्डिंग कर सकते हैं 38,000 मेंबर टिपिकली सोसाइटी में रहते हैं कोई भी शॉप लगाएगा कुछ भी काम करेगा सोसाइटी चार्जेस ऑफ मनी तो money comes to the society right and he also I mean the person who is selling also he also makes some money absolutely because वो दुकान बन उसका चल रहा है so some system
इस तरह से बनाए कि विन-विन सिचुएशन
बड़ी सिंपल सी बात है ना ज़ेना ब्रांड को आप यूज करके उसके अंडर अगर कुछ कर रहे हैं तो एक आप ब्रांड से यूज कीजिए रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग करिए
if I may say जब वेरियस LLPs जब बनाई जा रही है तो उसका एक छोटा सा मैथमेटिकल मॉडल मैंने बना के बहुत सिंपल सी चीज कि एज इंडिविजुअल्स हम कुछ करते हैं सो वी गेट रिम्यूनरेशन उसका एक फिक्स परसेंटेज आई थिंक इट वाज अबाउट एज 10% goes to in the kitty of which is I mean this is quite viable
Yeah,
तो ये हमारी तरफ से योगदान हो गया बात
हाँ।
10% whatever it
Yeah,
is.
इंडिविजुअल के लिए भी
And
बेनिफिशियल
बाकी
है
90% आपको खुद का अपना है. So you are motivated
Yes.
at the same time, baby steps in XENA.
और जो ना आपको प्लेटफॉर्म भी
XENA
प्रोवाइड
platform
करेगा
कर रहा है.
ओवर
जी
जी
दोनों ग्रुप करेंगे
जेना और मुझे दोनों की group.
जी
दोनों के ग्रुप एंड जेना का ब्रांड भी डेवलप होगा
जी
and people will then recognize maybe not may not take even a more than a year
उससे
कि जेना का ब्रांड यदि हाँ जेना का ब्रांड आकर के कोई क्लास ले रहा है
वही
चाहे
हमारा
कॉलेज
मकसद है.
में या तो हाँ तो इट इज रेपुटेड ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई यू नो आई मीन इट इज ऑफ इंफीरियर क्वालिटी
यानी
So with
वही इंडिविजुअल
Hmm.
in his or her own capacity जाके करता है. I also go as a visiting lecturer in these colleges in Punjab. So I go as Colonel VD Singh. तो Colonel VD Singh
Of
of
XENA.
XENA world. एक उसका इम्पैक्ट अलग होगा. मेरी इंडिविजुअलिटी से खराब नहीं वो हूँ लेकिन आई एम आल्सो प्रेसिडेंट एंड दैट इज बीइंग फ्लैश्ड इन द बैकग्राउंड. तो उसको विजुअल भी है सब कुछ है. And whatever I am earning, 10% of is to.
And within the XENA umbrella, there are 10 entities, 10 legal entities, 6 of which, are non-profit, 4 like non-profits, and 4 of them, are meant for profit. So, we can also, we can choose, from
Ji.
one,
Absolutely.
those entities, so obviously, many such rules, need to be fleshed out as we keep going.
इसका at some later stage, not a very far-fetched idea. ये सबकी जो core competence है, somebody who is expert on financial management, मतलब as a business lecturer, somebody talks about deep into science, that Dr. Patel. और वही मेरे जैसा फालतू टाइप का आदमी, I address students, but most of the time it gets converted. Like I visit aeronautical engineering department. I'm qualified in aeronautics as a flyer also and also computers and things like that. So उनका सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन अच्छा ये बताइए कि आतंकवादी में क्या हो रहा है. So the idea कि they want basically want to fund you in India. तो सबको थोड़ा सा वो करके तो बताता हूँ भाई ये सब ठीक है और ये चीज भी बहुत stress management के बात है. Actually, each one of us is competent to talk about stress management, change management.
Yeah. All the software area is very important. Another very important area is mental health.
Exactly, man.
Mental health.
Yes, yes.
Motivational speaker.
वो बड़ा
mental-
generic,
हाँ,
बड़ा कोई generic type चीज है. And of course, आपकी core competence तो है ही.
Actually, this was becoming a freewheeling discussion, so I didn't want to interrupt, but in the interest of time, I'll introduce the next speaker. And even I myself have, many follow-up questions, but then we can continue discussing them later. Doctor, sorry?
You can put the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am actually taking a note of all the various questions, that I have. Dr. Chandramohan Nautiyar, I'm feeling humble, in his presence, because when I read through his profile, it's really a privilege, to be, just have read through your profile. Dr. Chandramohan Nautiyar, he has a versatile talent, because after 5 scholarships, MSc from IIT UK, then a PhD and postdoctoral coursework at TRL Ahmedabad, that's a physical lab of ISRO. He worked at the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleobotany and Paleosciences, for close to 21 to 22 years, right? 1985 through, okay, here it's mentioned, 31 to 32 years, sorry. That was my math, that I got it wrong. 1985 to 2016, so close to 32 years. He retired as a scientist in charge of the country's most prolific radiocarbon dating lab in 2016. He's the INSA Young Scientist Medalist and recipient of many other honors and recognitions, both in India as well as abroad, including the INSA DFG Fellowship for Scientific Research, as well as recognitions for communication across the country, and also supported invitations from abroad. He has been a reviewer of 5 journals and a PhD examiner for 6 universities, apart from 125 research contributions in international journals and abstract books. I guess, this person wanted to say was abstruse books or arcane books, with researchers of across 6 nations, He has written for radio, TV, newspaper, magazines, and he is a highly sought out expert for media, for comments, as well as opinions in matters of science. Widely traveled across India as well as abroad, delivered 800 lectures across 8 countries, is now a program consultant to the Indian National Science Academy, New Delhi, but continues to be active in research, science popularization, and also science management as chairman, Young Scientists Scheme of Uttar Pradesh. Also has held positions in University's Board of Study, International Research Advisory Council of NRLC, that is Ministry of Culture, chairperson NCSC Uttar Pradesh, executive member of Science Studies Club of Lucknow, and also chairman NCSC UP, and delivers close to 50 lectures per annum. Yeah. So, sir, close to 15 minutes.
Thank you so much for a very, very generous introduction. Well, of course, some of the information provided by me, and some has been picked out.
Sir, before you start, should I give it again when he wants to take the slides? Yeah. It increases, always becomes more. Absolutely.
I'm basically a scientist, and I have been in research since 1977. And I was just across the road from the institution where you to study, PRL, Ahmedabad.
So you were in PR?
I was in PRL.
Okay. Used to go to PRL quite a lot. At least in my time, I used to do various projects, a little bit of, bit of scientific or mathematical work. तो हम लोग PRL में जाते थे. एक आधे HRD के प्रोजेक्ट करने भी गए थे.
आपका जो कैंपस है IIM अहमदाबाद का, उसके और हमारा जो रेजिडेंशियल एरियाज के बीच में there is just 30-40 feet road.
Yeah, exactly.
It is separated by that. Now it is reduced to 3 feet. It's much better. So I have been working initially. My specialization was isotope studies, and I was a part of the Indian team which analyzed moon samples which came under the Apollo mission and Luna mission by NASA. But later I came down to Earth. I started Earth sciences from the planetary sciences, and at Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleobotany. Original name was Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleobotany, and later it was changed to Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences. I was heading the radiocarbon dating lab there, and therefore I have research-wise I have published in astrophysics, in planetary science, in physics, in archaeology also, and paleobiology, in the sense that paleoclimate and paleobiology. So it has been a bit of interdisciplinary work that I have been doing. My interest is, as you know very well, in several other things. I have been writing for newspapers, magazines, and all. About 100 articles I have written, and about 250 radio and TV programs. So this is why I'm telling you this is that this will convince you that I am not the best person to give the keynote address on something like this. But Rajiv ji insisted, and I told him that. So he said, "Okay, you say whatever you feel like." And there are 10 themes here, and I am told that the exercise will be to identify people who could take up and work on these 10 themes. So I'll tell a little bit about each one of them. Smart education is the first thing which is here. And as he has given a very good idea, and everyone I think supported that we can create a platform or a brand which is XENA, and under that many of the smart education activities can be carried out. Many of us are experts in our core field, as Kanal Singh said. And on those subjects, if you can go to the institutions and schools and colleges. For example, I have been lecturing, and I have been, in fact, this is an old one, so now about 900 lectures I have given across in IITs, in universities, in schools, in the rural schools and everywhere. So I think we all can do that. And if that can be done under the XENA brand, that brand gets glorified. And as he has worked out 10% or 20% or whatever, that way that will be a source of revenue for the organization. And we also get a recognized platform. So that is one activity. And education, anyway, as the Chinese philosopher said that if you want to invest for a few days, plant flower plants. If you want it for a few months, go for agriculture. If you want to invest for years, go for fruit plants or fruit trees. But if you want to invest for 100 years, go for education. Invest in education. So I think education is one thing where we will also have a satisfaction of doing something for the nation, and our expertise will also be useful. Smart village and legal services. So in smart villages, I think I have seen one village in Gujarat near Bardot, and that is a village of people who actually are NRIs.
Sir, which village?
It's near Bardot
But
in Gujarat. And that, if you go inside, except the fact that they call it a village, there is nothing like a village there. Of course, even the water which they drink, there is a central plant where water is purified, and that is supplied. There is a big automation kind of thing, and it's supplied to every house. They are all connected by this cable and all. And this was in the year 2004. It's already 18 years. So I think now things must change for much better. But I think that may be a bit too ambitious. We have to first think, when we say about smart village, what is it? What are the changes that we are trying to bring about? Is it about roads which need a lot of investment? Or can we facilitate certain things where our management expertise comes in handy, rather than it should be rather than making it capital intensive? I think those 2 or 3 things we have to identify, which are not capital intensive, but we can bring about a change. For example, medical facility. Recently, I was working with a group of people. So what they have decided is, they got in touch with a doctor who has a nursing home. And they decided that every week they would go to a village. There will be doctors who would be working on semi-voluntary basis, in the sense that if their normal consultation fee is 300 or 500, they would only charge maybe 50% of that. And of that 50%, that is 25% of total, would go to the organization which is organizing this activity, and 25% go to the doctor. Doctor has satisfaction that he is serving the poor, and the organization also builds up revenue. So I think something like that we can do for the rural area. Legal services. Supreme Court has recently started one activity. A friend of mine is a advocate, senior advocate at Supreme Court. So he was vice president of their association. So he told me that they have started the free legal advice service for the poor people. So, well, none of us is a lawyer, perhaps, but maybe when somebody joins, some kind of service could be provided to people. Healthcare system I already talked about, and smart wellness. Now, there is a smart before every word. So I don't know. We have to first identify, when we say smart activity, what is it that we mean? When it comes to wellness, we have to talk about the physical as well as mental wellness. Physical wellness comes under healthcare services, but in wellness may include maybe yoga, maybe advising people about the
de-stressing, steps of sessions on de-stressing.
De-stressing, yes. So this, but how do we make it smart? I couldn't figure out.
So I think what is probably is that making use of various tools which are there with us. When I say tools, tools may not be physical models, but the technology around us making use of. For example, the moment you talked about this, like I work on Tibetan music. So somebody wants to be this, I'll play that Tibetan music, and for that person, it's actually come and right and ready. His batteries are recharged. So you're using this thing as a smart tool. That's what in my
The next is a handloom and handicraft. Government does this at its own level, where the margin of profit for the mediator is gone. So can we do something like that? Here, the margin would not be as much as the commercial agencies are charging, but they get something from the rural area at, say, N rupees, and N plus 25% they provide it to the people.
So I think in that
sector, it could be a good idea to get in touch with Adi Gram Udyog, the model which they are following, and pick up the best practices from there.
There, and I think there is an EPCH, Export Promotion Council.
Oh, yes, yes.
So,
We can,
yes.
I have
Yeah.
some contact. Get in touch with.
But they are selling things at an exorbitant price. Recently, I was in Sikkim. Just
Yeah, they are doing, but I think if they fair price to whatever price they sell, but at least those artisans, at least they get a fair price.
सर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी जाके वो करते हैं हर चीज के एक जो उनका एक उनका जो मानक वो होगा जैसे समथिंग लगे एमएसपी जैसी चीज होगी उस हिसाब से वर्कआउट करके ताकि उसको भी ना लगे कि तेरा बहुत ज्यादा नुकसान होगा बट श्योरली दैट थिंग टू बी टेकन एज अ basis for this cooperative societies.
एक्चुअली जो सेलिंग का या मार्केटिंग का जो सेटअप होता है
सर
उसमें बहुत ज्यादा पैसा जाता है उसमें वे वी कैन मिनिमाइज दैट आजकल तो कुरियर सर्विस वाली चीज भी पॉसिबल है सो इंस्टेड ऑफ रेंटिंग अ शॉप फॉर 1 लाख रुपया 130 lakh per month
let it reach directly to the
digitally through भी हो
हाँ
सकता है
सर, we are already at 0.8. It's already 0.8.
and then agriculture. In agriculture, I think a lot of refinement is possible. I just a few months back, somebody came to me. He said, "I have this much land in my village. I don't know what to do." There is another person who has a fishing farm, and he doesn't know how to sell it. And they sell it at a very, very low price. And I think somebody is making a big money in the business. So if she can help them, I think it will be beneficial for XENA, it will be beneficial for both the parties, and those middlemen would be gone out. They will be out. And one very important activity, which is suggestion number 10, which is smart adventure sports and ecotourism. Now, here, what I feel in UP, if I take, for example, in the eastern UP, in Sonbhadra and Mirzapur and Chandoli, there are 3 districts where there is a lot of rock art. Rock art means the paintings done inside caves on the rocks
by aborigines,
by the people who lived there maybe 5,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. I have was coordinator for the state for this rock art documentation.
but what will be a
Almost in every state of the country. Madhya Pradesh में है, भीमबेटका, it's a international heritage now, UN heritage. यूपी में है, सोनभद्र में है, मिर्जापुर में है, गुजरात, बहुत in almost every state. So they now, for example, from Banaras to Mirzapur travel would be reduced to maybe 1.5. It's around 80-90 kilometers. So now a new road is being built. So anyone who comes to Banaras, and Banaras, I think, attracts a very huge number of foreign tourists. So it doesn't take them much time. Just within 1.5 to 2 hours, they could travel from Varanasi to Sonbhadra. So go around in guided tours, watch these rock art, and then come back on the same day. So it's not even any expenditure on hotel or something. So I think these are the 10 things in which we have to act smart. I think minimizing our costs and maximizing the profit for our organization. And innovation is needed in everything. The book that when you open it, this is about the history of some of the innovations. And the silver color packet which you have got, it's a book on innovation.
that is yet to be
That is yet to be okay.
So, could see, now let's continue.
So I think
I'll
that's-
be, yeah, thank you so much. I'll introduce Colonel V.D. Singh. So his life here has been full of flying, full of technology, full of right? He's an army veteran. He retired in 2017. He's probably served for 30 years. And how much pride, that we already know. So he insisted that he be called Colonel, not Mr. He started his career as a software engineer in the early 80s. He's an adventure pilot.
Can you shift the laptop? Can you shift the laptop?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, and for me, I, yeah. But with the armed forces, he was an educationist. He has taught in quite a few institutes, with the armed forces. Among his two passions of flying and music, he chose music after retirement as a full-time passion. He's a self-styled music composer, and you see a lot of innovation going forward in his profile. He's a music composer, he's a lyricist, he's a guitarist, he's a bassist, he's a synthesizer player, he's a drummer. Colonel has his own music studio by the name of Sadat Studio with wide visibility on YouTube. So, and he's a prolific YouTuber. And he posts a lot on XENA World sites as well. His compositions were launched globally by Hangama Music in 2013. So that itself, speaks to, that obviously is a testament to his caliber. He has performed at various shows, including those held at Port Blair to Ladakh. That's the northernmost tip and the southernmost tip. He did a project on Tibetan jazz, and created his own version of fusion music. So that was obviously instrumental fusion. He received the Best Music Composer Award at Jodhpur International Film Festival as recently as January 2020. So, sir, you have something like 10 minutes.
One of the oldest, but it doesn't do that bit of a shorter list.
Before I forget, let me take one thing to his introduction of Dr. Masla. He's a very good poet as well.
Yes, yes.
And I had the singular privilege of listening to one or two of his poems.
Sir, आपके और डॉक्टर नोटियाल के साथ मैं very humbled हूँ मैं लिखता हूँ
ये दोनों ऐसे कि क्या नहीं है ये
Thank you, sir. Honored, sir.
One second.
जी, yeah. Thank you, sir. मैं लखनऊ का वासी हूँ और मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा सा हिंदी अगर वार्तालाप हिंदी जारी रहेगा जी 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 कि जिंदगी भर अंग्रेजी कहते हैं तो बाकी तो डॉक्टर शर्मा ने काफी कुछ बोल दिया मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि मैं इसके बाद क्या बोलूँ लेकिन मैं काफी कुछ प्रेरित हुआ हूँ खासतौर से डॉक्टर नोटियाल ने जब 10 चीजें आइडेंटिफाई करी तो उस वक्त मेरा दिमाग चल रहा है कि मुझे भी कुछ आइडेंटिफाई करना चाहिए इस किस्म चीज स्पेशली बेस्ड ऑन माय कोर कॉम्पिटेंस जो भी थोड़े बहुत तो एक जो सबसे जो चीजें मैं एक्चुअली कर चुका हूँ लेकिन वो मैंने सर्वजन हिताय यानी उसका मुझे कोई पैसा जगह नहीं दैट इज आई हैव हेल्प पीपल इन सेटिंग अप देयर स्टूडियोज ये मेरा एक यानी इसमें मेरी कोई डिग्री नहीं है ऑडियो इंजीनियर लेकिन मेरा मैंने बहुत काम किया है कई स्टूडियोज में वॉइस एंड एक्सेंट ट्रेनर सेटिंग अप स्टूडियो क्योंकि आज के टाइम पे क्या है कि कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में कहीं भी आप देख लीजिए सबके पास एक छोटा छोटा स्टूडियो का मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि आपके पास 10 बाई 12 फीट का एक कमरे के कोने में एक्यूस्टिकली बैलेंस करके और वो कौन से उपकरण हैं जिनको आप लेके यानी सस्ता सुंदर और टिकाऊ तरीके से आप एक अपना पॉडकास्ट शुरू कर सकते हैं या आप म्यूजिकल रोल शुरू कर सकते हैं उस चीज का अनुभव है मुझको तो उस मामले में मैं मदद करता हूँ लोगों की लेकिन अनपेड कर रहे थे तो मैंने शेयर किया अपना एक्सपीरियंस लोगों के साथ इस तरीके से तो एक ये फील्ड हो सकती है क्योंकि हर एक मतलब हर एक तबके का इंसान जो है वो चाहता है कि घर से बैठ के एंड पैंडेमिक ने इसमें बहुत ज्यादा वो किया है इट इज वर्क्ड एज अ कैटलिस्ट पैंडेमिक टाइम जी तो मेरे ख्याल से एक बहुत अच्छा हो सकता है दूसरा जैसे कि मैं म्यूजिकल परफॉर्मेंसेस देना चाहता हूँ तो ज्यादातर म्यूजिकल परफॉर्मेंसेस स्पॉन्सर्ड ही होती है अभी जैसे रिसेंटली किया था तो जावा मोटरसाइकिल वालों ने किया था उसको तो इस किस्म की कोई म्यूजिकल परफॉर्मेंस जो कि अगेन मैं अपने आप से शुरुआत करूंगा और मैं उसमें शेयर दूंगा कि मैं XENA वर्ल्ड को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूँ और उसका जो भी रेम्यूनरेशन मुझे एज एन इंडिविजुअल मिलता है तो बहुत खुशी इसका जो 10% जो हमने मॉडल वर्कआउट किया वो मैं इसी के साथ ही और दूसरे लोगों को भी प्रेरणा देंगे कि भाई अगर आप किसी कुछ परफॉर्मेंस करना चाहता है तो एज इंडिविजुअल करिए परफॉर्म, लेकिन अगर जीना वर्ल्ड के बैनर के तले अगर हम कुछ करते हैं तो जीना वर्ल्ड एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल आल्सो फ्लरिश और हम उसमें दूसरा अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मुसफ़ी सर ने बताया था कि एजुकेशन डेफिनेटली, बिकॉज मेरी जो लास्ट पोस्टिंग थी वो लद्दाख में थी एंड आई वाज डायरेक्टर आर्मी एचआरडी सेंटर, और अलग अलग चीजों के यानी वो एक इंटीग्रेटेड काइंड ऑफ थिंग जिसमें एनआईओएस, इग्नू, जीआईएस ट्रेनिंग, ये सारी चीज मेरे अंतर्गत है। तो ये एक्सपीरियंस भी एक काम आ सकता है अलग अलग तरह के, यानी एक ऐसा बॉडी बनाया जाए जिसमें कि एक डेटाबेस हो ऐसे हम लोगों का जिनकी कोर सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए और वो उसके ऊपर लेक्चर दे सकें। उसके बाद जहाँ पे जैसे जरूरत हो, मतलब कस्टमाइज करना होता है, उसको किया जाए जीना वर्ल्ड के बैनर के नीचे, और कुछ पैसा वहां चला जाएगा, 10% बाकी, मतलब मैं आई मेड इट दैट इतना ही कहना था।
अभी कर रही है या अभी करने की इच्छा है?
मैं करने की इच्छा है, मैंने अभी तक सब इंडिविजुअल बेसिस पे किया, लेकिन मैं जरूर उसको करूंगा। और सर्टिफिकेट एट होम।
Next speaker is Mr. Sanjay Sethi. Mr. Sanjay Sethi is a guide in the whole finance professional and management professional, so strategy professional. Perhaps that.
Shalin bhai, can you move the laptop, please?
Yeah, sure.
सर आप कुछ बताएं, आपका आगे
हाँ जी,
देख लो तुम्हारे उसमें।
इसमें आप दिख रहे हैं।
हाँ बिल्कुल दिख रहा हूँ।
Yeah, so a very thoroughbred, finance professional. So including areas such as treasury management, taxation, revenue assurance, audits, compliance, supply chain management. It also has deep experience in strategic planning, deal analysis, negotiation. These are very high order skills. Investor relationships, partner compliance, private and institutional financing. He has led financial strategies for driving operational efficiency and process excellence and controls across geographies. So I see at least 4 continents here: India, Middle East, Africa, and France. Qualified chartered accountant, at 10th rank as a annual. He's also a custom manager. Completed his post-graduation Delhi School. Also released BCom from Delhi. Sanjay started his career with ABB, Asia, and
Where we were together.
in
You know,
India.
sometimes I get confused which is also for in Council for International World
World
Affairs.
Affairs.
But now they have changed the name of ICW.
ICM,
Yeah, ICM.
management account.
That's why I ended up saying.
Yeah. So I am very happy to be here.
Before you start,
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm so happy to be here, as part of the XENA family. And it's wonderful to know that we have so many family members, and we are all across the globe. And the kind of people that I'm meeting here today are all my kind of age group, planning for various innings of their life. So, of course, you mentioned about my education and brief about my career and all. But lately, for the past about, I should say, 20 odd years, I have become a kind of a distressed corporate management. It basically means that the companies which have been in distress, they would like to take my help and support to make them come out of distress. This has happened over various sectors by now. I started this with telecom, then it moved to overseas, then it moved to wind energy, then it moved to coal, then gems and jewelry, and now finally it has come to real estate. So that is the kind of skill which I have gathered. It is not sector specific. Any sector wants to talk to me and
take my support and help in coming out of it. So, everything is varied here. It happens in a different kind of a way. So, a couple of things which, have come into my mind as we were going through the various discussions that we had today. Number one, I would invite our 38,000 members to come and take our properties. I'm into real estate business today, and we have projects, about 25 running projects in Noida, Greater Noida, Noida Extension, in Gurgaon, in Punjab, in Mohali, Derabasti. So all these people are invited to look at our properties, and if they want to buy, they will get a very, very good price. That is one thing that I can do. It's a mutual thing to happen. Of course, we are selling our product, want to sell it, and there are so many people who would be interested to maybe look at it. Maybe they want to buy, their friends want to buy, their relatives want to buy. It's an open, I should say, offer to everybody that we give the best price. Number two, over the years, I've noticed one thing which no one is actually addressing anywhere in at least our country. What happens is that as cities are maturing, as they are becoming industry centers and service centers, there's a lot of migration which is happening from smaller towns to bigger cities, from villages to smaller towns to bigger cities. There is no one in this world who is helping them get used to the kind of work environment they are going to face. They are consultants who give you a job, nothing beyond that. These people don't even reach consultants. They land up, I don't know where, and from where they come into organization and start working. They need mentoring of all types. They need to be groomed to get into jobs. I tell you something which will be very crazy. You will find graduates doing MARDA work. MARDA is a daily laborer working on our sites. Imagine the situation played, I employ 5,000 people of various types, which is a regular headcount, which is a contractual guy, which is a MARDA labor, which is a PRW, which is a consultant. And I find this problem all across the board, because the migration is happening and employment is so much now needed actually. After COVID is going, now you need people, and there are no people. So, there has to be some kind of a voluntary, process where we groom them and we help them to get into organizations and then survive there. There can be all types of work that can be done by them. अभी क्या है, आप हमारे कंपनी में हम देखते हैं यूपी से भर भर के लोग आ रहे, हर जगह से आते हैं, काम चाहिए सबको, कोई भी काम दे दो ले लेंगे, पर उसके लायक काम होना चाहिए ना. अब जैसे जेना फैमिली है, हम लोग एक सिटी में प्रेजेंट है, बड़े छोटे सब में, तो छोटा छोटा एक ग्रुप बना ले, वॉलंटरी हेल्प करना शुरू करें कि भाई हाँ तुम कहाँ जा सकते हो, कैसे जा सकते हो. अच्छा, वो कंसल्टेंट इनका मिसयूज करते हैं. उनको बोलो कि भाई मेरे को 100 आदमी चाहिए, वो पता नहीं कहाँ से पकड़ के 100 आदमी लेंगे. अच्छा, ऊपर से इनके राइट्स जो है उनको कोई सपोर्ट नहीं करता. पीएफ कटता है, नहीं कटता है, ईएसआई का कंट्रीब्यूशन होता है, नहीं होता है, बहुत सी चीजें ऐसी उनको हम लोग समझाना पड़ेगा कि उसका राइट क्या है,
लीगल राइट्स
है ना. अभी मेडिकल इश्यूज बड़े होते हैं इनके साथ में, तो हम लोग एक सपोर्ट सिस्टम बिल्ड करना पड़ेगा. नहीं तो मैं आपको ऑनेस्टली बोल रहा हूँ, हमारी इकोनॉमी किसी दिन खत्म हो जाएगी और काम करने वाले लोग नहीं हो. और ये सच कह रहा हूँ मैं आपको, आज की डेट में डर है बहुत से, जिसे कहते हैं लोअर लेवल स्टाफ का, है नहीं. कैसे काम हो रहा है किसी को मालूम नहीं है, हो रहा है बस. और ये जो एंट्री लेवल के लोग आते हैं बेचारे, इनके साथ बहुत नाइंसाफी होती है और जबरदस्त एक्सप्लॉयटेशन. मैंने खुद देखा है कि अब जैसे आईटी स्पेशलिस्ट आते हैं, छोटे टाउन से आईटी का कुछ कर लेते हैं पढ़ाई. आजकल पढ़ाई तो बहुत हो गई है ना भाई, हर गांव कूचे में इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज खुला हुआ है, हर जगह पे मतलब बहुत सी पढ़ाई हो रही है. पढ़ाई के बाद क्या है, मेरा ड्राइवर है वो ग्रेजुएट है, अभी शादी करने गया था, तो अब उसकी जो बीवी है वो एमए है. शादी हो गई है, बीवी कह रही है, वह कह रहा है कि वो कंप्यूटर कोर्स करके ही आएगी, फिर मैं उसकी नौकरी लगवाऊं.
पीछे के हुए लोग नालियां साफ कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, तो मैं क्या कहता हूँ कि ये एक चीज है जो कभी किसी ने, ना गवर्नमेंट ने देखी है, ना प्राइवेट सेक्टर ने देखी है, ना किसी ने. और प्राइवेट सेक्टर देखना भी नहीं चाहता क्योंकि वो फायदा उठाना चाहता है. अब मेरे पास कोई आदमी आए, उसकी ये सपोज वैसे भी पगार है, मैं उसको आधे पे काम करा दूं तो बड़ा खुश हूँ, बट उस बेचारे वो कर रहा है काम क्योंकि उसको ऑप्शन नहीं मिल रहा. जब ऑप्शन मिलता है तो फिर वो रंग दिखाता है अपना। तो मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि कुछ हम लोग को आपस में मिलकर ये करना चाहिए कि इसमें हम लोग सोसाइटी की हेल्प करें, लोगों की हेल्प करें, और इससे ना सिर्फ लोगों की हेल्प होगी बट बल्कि एंटरप्राइज की भी हेल्प। कंपनियां भी ये चाहती हैं कि भाई ऐसा सपोर्ट उनको मिले। तो ऐसा कुछ हम लोग को सोचना है जो हम कर सकते हैं। सारे लोग फ्रॉम वेरियस पार्ट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रीज, द सेक्टर, द गवर्नमेंट, ऑल काइंड ऑफ। अभी यहाँ पे देखो हर जगह से बंदा है ना, क्योंकि देखो अपना सोशल लेवल पे छोटे बच्चों को पढ़ाना, बड़े बच्चों को पढ़ाना, ये सब लोग करते हैं। अब हमारे जो ग्रुप्स हैं, जैसे बीवियां हैं हमारी, जब वो मतलब बड़ी हो जाते हैं, बच्चे चले गए, तो क्या करेंगे सारा? कोई कुछ कर रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, उससे हम कुछ करते हैं एक छोटा सा पार्ट, बट एक ऑर्गेनाइज वे में हम ऐसा कुछ करें जिससे कि हम माइग्रेंट लोगों को सपोर्ट। और ये मेरे हिसाब से बहुत जरूरी चीज है जो होनी चाहिए, और हम लोग उसका इनिशिएटिव ले सकते हैं, नॉट ओनली एट इंडिया लेवल, ग्लोबल लेवल। आप फॉरेन कंट्रीज में जाओ, वहां भी ये समस्या है। अब अफ्रीका में हम जाते हैं काम करते, अफ्रीकन लोगों से एक पॉइंट तक आप काम करा सकते, उसके बाद हम एक्सपर्ट की पगार जो होती है वो 5 गुना होती है, घर दो, रहने की जगह, तो फिर वो क्यों करता। तो ये सिर्फ इंडिया की समस्या नहीं है, ये ग्लोबल समस्या है। आप वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में चले जाओ, वो उल्टा हिसाब है। वहां आपको स्किल्ड लोग चाहिए, क्योंकि उनके लोग पढ़ना नहीं चाहते हैं। वो लोग तो मैट्रिक करके, मतलब उनकी 10th जो है उनके लिए सफिशिएंट है, उसके बाद वो कहते हैं ठीक है जो मर्जी काम करा लो, बाकी सोशल सिक्योरिटी है हमारी। ऊपर के लोग, दूसरे लोग काम करते हैं, वो वहां पे वैसे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं। तो मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि हम लोग का ये अगर 38,000 ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड है, दिस कैन मे बी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम इंडिया, देन मूव इन अदर कंट्रीज। अभी जैसे अफ्रीका में आप जाइए, अफ्रीका में भी सीए होता है, ठीक है, अफ्रीका में भी सीए होता है। There is a finance professional course done in various African countries. They get employed also like that. But no company coming from abroad is going to trust them to give them senior. Why? I don't know why. और आप चाहें कि वो ऊपर लेवल पे जा सकें, तो संभव नहीं है, रोक देंगे उनको एक्सपर्ट।
बहुत वैलिड पॉइंट।
मुझे मतलब ये मैं इसीलिए बोल रहा हूँ आपको, क्योंकि नोएडा एक ऐसा सेंटर है जहाँ उत्तर प्रदेश का हर आदमी आके काम करता है। गुड़गांव आज अभी तक ऐसा नहीं बना, क्योंकि हरियाणा में ऐसी नहीं है। हरियाणा इज प्रोबब्ली मोर इनटू व्हाट कॉल इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, एंड इवन पंजाब से तो हर बंदा कनाडा जाना चाहता है, वो तो खैर अलग बात है। बाकी अब इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन के साथ जो होती है तो हो रही है, बट यूपी के अंदर हर बंदा यूपी आना, नोएडा आना। मैं तो ये कह रहा हूँ कि हम नोएडा को एक पायलट बना के शुरू करते हैं।
यस,
बहुत जगह जाके करने से बेटर है एक जगह से चालू करते हैं।
छोटा सा, और हम ये शुरू कर सकते हैं कंपनी से, हम आपको ट्रेन लेबर देंगे जो एक्लेमेटाइज हो, बिल्कुल आपसे कुछ हम उसका पैसा लेंगे, और उसका एक पार्ट जो है वो देंगे।
बिल्कुल,
Yes.
बिल्कुल।
And sir, there is a skill development, no, which is being done by the government.
गवर्नमेंट इज
So
डूइंग।
we should use those.
पर मैडम स्किल डेवलपमेंट का आपको मैं बैकग्राउंड बताऊं।
अच्छा।
मेरे पास कस्टमर आते हैं जिनको स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए प्रॉपर्टी चाहिए, क्योंकि उनको 3,000 2,000 लोगों को वहां पे बिठाना है। वो मुझे बताते हैं कि 25% इसमें कट है।
Skill development programs is happening.
It is
Talk to the
completely
doctors.
misused by sorry to
Doctors
say,
are
but
not
government
getting injection
and ministers.
from some of the colleges.
So what do?
They take a cut all across.
A very big program done.
And that is why we want to join
वहाँ
and
पे
we want to
पैसे
join government.
certificate
Yeah.
take other side.
मेरा एक कस्टमर है, उसने एक मेरी प्रॉपर्टी में कमर्शियल स्पेस किया है, वहाँ आई थिंक कोई 400-500 सीट्स क्रिएट किए हैं। वो मेरे टच में रहता है हमेशा। हमारे यहाँ कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम रहती है, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल्सो कमिंग आउट ऑफ स्पेस। तो अभी पीछे एक दिन आया मेरे पास, तो मुझे कहता है कि मेरे को भाई 2,500 सीट्स की जरूरत पड़ेगी, तो मेरा एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट आने वाला है फ्रॉम यूपी गवर्नमेंट, तो मेरे को स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए करना पड़ेगा। तो बातचीत में पता चला कि 25% कट देना।
किसमें जाता है ये?
Government.
बहुत लेयर्स में जाता है। He wanted to buy one of our IT buildings. We have a building just in next to our office, तो वो खरीदना चाह रहा था। कह रहा वो आने दो 1.5 महीने में, फिर मैं खरीद। मैंने कहा ठीक है, बिल्डिंग के लिए होल्ड करके रखता हूँ।
गवर्नमेंट से
हाँ
फंडिंग का मिक्स
हाँ
यहाँ पे
Yes.
वही रिकॉर्ड मत करना, हटा देना।
एक्सपांड हो जाए
क्योंकि मैं एक्चुअली मेरी प्रॉब्लम है कि आई एम वेरी प्रैक्टिकल गाय। मैं क्राउड की बात करूँ।
What is being shown and what is happening is different.
चलिए सर, मेरा टाइम हो गया लगता है।
Please allow me to introduce Chavi Prabhakar. She's a former banker, management thought leader, and now has segued into entrepreneurship. She's a veteran banker, as I said, the distinguished career spanning over 20 years of banking. She's worked with world-renowned organizations which are marquee brand names: Citibank, Societe Generale, private banking, and American Express or MX, Standard Chartered, Stancy, Axis Bank. These are some of the most coveted banks. She's worked in the following spaces: NRI Bank, wealth management, and private bank. The successful track record of building new businesses, creating and leading large, diversified, functional teams. Is now a woman and has conceptualized and solutions. This is India's first integrated solutions provider, 31 billion Pravasi Bharat seeking assistance in managing their assets in India across asset class segments. She is an independent director of Shantali Limited as well as Globus Power Generation. She has been elected as the chairperson of the Tax Committee Delhi Management Association since you're very there. She is also on the prestigious Delhi Management Association's All India Women Officers Award as you said just for you. Kudos. Very flower.
Thank you.
थोड़ा इधर भी देखो। Ready? तो आप भी देखो। Yeah, this is better. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I must say, I'm actually speechless for once. I'm really honored to be here. You feel humbled because what I'm hearing here is something, I see my CV so simple because, I was a banker for 20 years and now 6 years I've been an entrepreneur. So I was, as I say, with the blinkers on, you're doing your own thing, in the corporate world. But yes, there was always this, what I would say, using a Hindi word, कीड़ा. तो अंदर से एक entrepreneurship का कीड़ा था कि कुछ ऐसा करना है जो कि हम हमेशा से देख रहे थे कि मैंने शुरुआत की 96 में सिटी बैंक, that time City Bank was the bank to work with. So you start your career as a city banker, and I was in the NRI business, and having from that time worked very closely with NRIs. Throughout my career, I set up wealth management business for Axis Bank. And I of course ended my career at Axis itself. But through it, I always carried with me कि ये जो हमारे इंडियंस हैं, पीपल ऑफ इंडियन ओरिजिन, जो बाहर चले गए हैं, उनका कनेक्ट इंडिया के साथ खत्म हो रहा है. वो इतना परेशान होते हैं कि उनको ऐसे लगता है कि इंडिया में कुछ करवाना या करना is like a black hole. And here are honorable ex-ambassadors, ma'am and sir, will tell us when they were overseas. तो हमें हमेशा से ये लगा कि क्या होता है इंडिया में कि आप मीन्स एवरीवन इज रेडी के कुछ खरीद लो, NRIs आए, एवरीवन अज्यूम्स उनके पास बहुत पैसे हैं, आप ये ले लो, आप ये रियल एस्टेट, ये after that what happens no one knows. They get cheated also. They are cheated, nobody knows. So मेरे माइंड में ये तब से था, that I want to not offer anything, because as a wealth management expert, I'm a private banking expert, wealth management, के वो सब हमने कर लिया. So I kept that aside. So when I stepped out as an entrepreneur, no wealth advisory, no wealth management. I started out as so that's where we are the first integrated solution providing platform for non-resident Indians. So what I actually conceptualized was that the pain areas which NRIs, and they are our own people, and with the focus which is coming, which I'm noticing since the last 7, 8 years, Pravasi Bhartiya jinko kehte hain. So I now I try not to use the word NRI. I always call them Pravasi Bhartiya. And the biggest thing for me was that, when I visited the Pravasi Bhartiya Center in Chanakyapuri, तो उन्होंने मुझे पूछा, आप तो ये काम शुरू कर रहे हैं और कर रहे हैं, I was doing little spade work. तो आपको पता है सबसे फेमस और आइकॉनिक प्रवासी भारतीय कौन है? तो like you are looking at me, even I was looking at that person. He says, अच्छा आपको ही नहीं पता? तो I said, कौन है? महात्मा गांधी. इसलिए प्रवासी भारतीय ये सेंटर जो है उसमें एक म्यूजियम है of the most famous प्रवासी भारतीय, which he said all of us forget that he was living overseas, he chose to come back to. So it's a very powerful, I would say, diaspora जो हमारा है Indians का, जो obviously the best, we had this brain drain happening, and the best brains or the best, I would say, talent जो इंडिया का था वो सारा बाहर गया और जा भी रहा है और खूब जा रहा है. because as we speak हमारे हर साल जो लोग जो बैठे हुए हैं जो हमें अब अप्रोच करते हैं कि आप हमें फॉरेन पासपोर्ट दिला दीजिए, क्यों आपका मीन्स भारतीय पासपोर्ट ठीक नहीं उससे ये नहीं होता, हमें तो या तो ईयू में एंट्री चाहिए या हमें ये तो so as we are talking, I'll just keep it short. So here I can contribute to XENA, which I've always felt on two things. One is, I chose from being, as I was told by my bosses when I decided to quit banking, ma'am, aap kaise chhod sakte ho? Such a well-paying job, and you've reached a certain, you've done your thing and you've reached, so at that time I said that, woman on empowerment, and ma'am is, I think, again, would be a role model, that when we choose to step out of our comfort zone, and as a woman entrepreneur, now I am also 6 years back, I'm talking, and it was like a big surprise for people that how can you do this? So so what I would say is, this, woman, I would say financial independence for women, women empowerment, so a few of us, we have a lot of women members of XENA. Maybe we could get together, like we were talking of, women, who are facing some harassment, so we could, financial independence is something which I think is at the core of everything. Men, of course, it's understood, but for women who are finance, finance. So I would like to contribute and see how we can create maybe a little, a forum or where we can encourage women to step out. Then then everything comes around it. I'm an ex-banker. How can we get them funding? How can, so all these are the subsets of what you start out as, creating financial independence for women. And second thing, which is very close to my heart, as I just said, was, the Pravasi Bhartiya bit, which is, connecting, getting the Indians back and connecting back to India. It's a very, very big thing. I'm an Indophile. So I completely, so wherever I go, I only talk about what India is doing. So you're Make in India and you're, go local and you're, So these are some initiatives which is already the government, these are already being, I would say, government providing so much in schemes and benefits in these spaces. So we as XENA can also take benefit of that, and therefore I'll help people to take benefit. And so it's a very big thing. So when we talked of 38,000, members, and they are global. So the word we used when, I was thinking of my company name, everyone said कि, आप Google search में NRI नाम होना जरूरी है, because people search on the word, and I said no. The word for me is global Indians. So today आप और मैं भी ग्लोबल इंडियंस हैं, क्योंकि मेरा भी अपॉर्चुनिटी।
डेटा का पता आज मुझे नहीं पता, 2008 में मैंने बुक खरीदी थी और इंडियंस वर अब्रॉड, 2.5 करोड़ इंडियन बाहर रहता है।
अब वो 3.5 करोड़ हो चुका है।
2008 की बात करो, बुक मैंने
मैं अब वो 3.5 करोड़
था वहां खरीदी। सिर्फ 4 कंट्री हैं दुनिया में जहाँ इंडियन नहीं है, सिर्फ 4 कंट्री है। मैं भूल गया कौन से, 2008 में हो सकता वहां भी
जरूर पहुंच गए। तो मेरे माइंड में ये है कि अगर हमारी भी ग्लोबल फुटप्रिंट है, हाउ डू वी ब्रिंग दोस पीपल? सी आई ऑलवेज थिंक ऑफ ग्लोबल इंडियंस में आप और मैं भी ग्लोबल इंडियन हूँ, क्योंकि मैं भी बाहर प्रॉपर्टी खरीद सकती हूँ, मैं बाहर इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकती हूँ, और वहां जो लोग बाहर रह रहे हैं वो इंडिया। वी वांट टू इनवाइट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स टू कम टू इंडिया। आई वांट इंडियंस टू फील कंफर्टेबल। अभी मार्च में दुबई गई हुई थी, तो इतना मुझे, I must this thing, as an Indophile I felt bad that all my friends have now said कि अब तो हम यहीं सेटल हो गए, हमने 10 ईयर का गोल्डन वीजा ले, सब ने प्रॉपर्टी खरीद ली वहां, villas खरीदे हुए सब। So I was like, why? Y'all are about to, y'all are in your late 40s to early 50s, why don't you all come back home? कि यहाँ करो इन्वेस्ट, इंडिया में आके करो। but वो टैक्स, no, but I'm just telling कि
मैंने ये देखा है कि वो इन्वेस्ट यहाँ करते हैं, आते नहीं, जैसे हम प्रॉपर्टी बेचते हैं, सीधे
आते नहीं।
but I'm just giving an example.
मैं बताऊं, उनके दिमाग में अभी भी ये कॉन्सेप्ट घुसा हुआ है कि इंडिया के रियल एस्टेट सबसे ज्यादा एप्रिशिएट करते हैं।
Also our markets, हमारी markets,
बाहर बैठे यहाँ घर खरीद करेंगे।
इंडिया में 40% है।
करेक्ट। तो घरों पे घर खरीदते रहते।
तो I'll not take much time, I'm sorry. बस ये मेरे 2-3 ये मेरे पास ये हैं areas where I am ready to, we can all, have a small panel of people together. We can, these 2 initiatives, we can definitely have under the XENA umbrella. Thank you. Basically creating that, what should I say, the bridge for the NRIs, so helping them to navigate India. It's a very big problem for them. And second is financial independence. How do we empower women, and especially through financial? How do we create those avenues for them?
Shalin bhai, can you shift the laptop? Shalin bhai, can you shift the laptop? Yeah.
We are only 1 or 2 minutes late. So, I introduced, Ambassador Kasturia, and what I was told was that she's going to give us the key takeaways, from this meeting, but I'll leave it to her discretion, as to how she wants to. She's retired from the post of Ambassador of India to North Korea, ma'am. That must have been very difficult.
Indians were there.
Yeah, Indians were there.
She's an alma mater market dictator के साथ.
Current dictator was there.
Year was when you were in North Korea?
I was there from 15 to 18.
Oh,
Maybe.
And then
This is all propaganda. American propaganda.
Okay, she's an alma mater. the prestigious JNU. She's a multilingual. Come to know more about that soon. Over 30 years working with the government of India, she career culminated in the resignation of ambassador.
I will move by one. Somebody want smart education, which he mentioned, smart villages and legal villages, manageable management capabilities, which can come handy, legal services and free legal services for the poor. That is really very important. I think. And, health services is also a very good idea. remote villages, I think we don't have so many doctors going there, helping the people there. Physical wellness and mental health. Mental health is also very important nowadays. Handloom and handicrafts you mentioned, which again will help the people in the rural areas, which will be very useful for them. And agriculture, fishing farms, this can be also taken up by the XENA family. And maybe art also, rock art. And maybe with this, I think tourism also gets involved in this area. Mirzapur and things like that. So encourage tourism also on this banner. Colonel VD Singh also has, as we all know, he's a very good singer and performer. Beside a lot of other things.
You should have a song for it.
Yeah, she should be singing for us before we all wind up. Yes, yeah.
Because
Yes.
virtually we are listening to him.
Yeah, I know it'll be really wonderful. Yeah. Please.
And use this table as an instrument and play.
No, he doesn't need it. The music is there.
Yeah, now it is
YouTube.
pretty modern.
Yeah, so he can sing with the music. Yeah. He said he can help set up studios and organize musical performances and contribute around 10% to the XENA family. And another is very important theme was the education, to give lectures in schools and colleges and help students. Very, very important. So Sanjay Sethi, he also had very, very nice, wonderful ideas, which I think I heard it for the first time, and projects that he has in mind. First one was to invite the 38,000 members to take up properties to get the best price, which is, I think, a lot of NRIs, Pravasi Bharatiya, they do get cheated. I personally know so many. While I was posted in London, so many of them complained that when they come here, there's so many people running after them, and they get cheated and they don't know where the money goes.
I'll tell you, I have concrete practical examples. Because I am very open to my customers.
Yeah.
Whenever they want to meet me, I meet them. So, कम से कम 10 NRI customers की होके मेरे तक पहुंचे, very कम. मतलब ये एक लेवल होता है सेल्स का, सेल्स के बाद CRM का होता है, CRM के बाद उनके सीनियर का होता है. हर प्रोजेक्ट के CRM होते हैं, उनके पास गए, फिर CRM हेड के पास गए, वहीं की तकलीफ नहीं खत्म हुई हमारे पास. इश्यूज जो होते हैं वो प्रॉपर्टी रिलेटेड नहीं होते. लेट बन रही है वो एक इशू है. इशू होते हैं सारे उसके बाद एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लिंक, पैसा कैसे आएगा, पैसा कहाँ आएगा, इस तरह की इशू नहीं करता. उन्होंने एक बार इंडिविजुअली पैसा भेज दिया, एक बार अपनी कंपनी से भेज दिया, हो गए. तो उसको यहाँ रिकॉग्नाइज कैसे करेंगे? हमारा फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम भी बहुत एक्सपर्ट है, बैंकिंग सिस्टम बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग है. भैया तुमने एक बार अपने नाम से पैसा भेजा,
something like this, so like our company, because
वहीं पे ये लोग का इनपुट्स होते हैं.
because we deal with complete real estate advisory, end-to-end taxation and estate planning.
इनफैक्ट
very important during
हमारे कस्टमर आपकी बहुत हेल्प ले सकते हैं.
हाँ, वही मैं कह रही हूँ कि जो wills and trust जो है, which has become so important during the pandemic. कितने लोगों ने NRIs approached us कि हमारे आप will बना दीजिए, registered will of our Indian assets. तो वो सब what we do is we put together, see, and as we have decided, जो I think वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि anything which comes to us as a referral through the XENA route, we pass back. So whatever we make as a company, we give back, and whatever 10%, whatever we have decided, goes back. So we are actually creating a network where all 38,000 people can avail of their own requirements through us.
Yeah. Another
It's a
point
win-win, very big win-win for everyone.
Another point I wanted to add to this thing was that I remember people saying that they want to do charity in India. companies. But they said people will come, take money and disappear.
Yeah.
They said we would really love to work in India, do charity, give money, but don't know where to give.
So philanthropy is part of estate planning. So we do estate planning, the entire structure. It can be through a trust, it can. So let's do something. In fact, we can also, we should be a knowledge platform. What comes to my mind, we should be seen also as a knowledge platform. एक बार talk हो रहा है on wills.
Yeah.
On estate planning, the entire will execution, will drafting, you're setting up a trust structure, these are very important topics जिसमें किसी को पता ही नहीं है क्या है. So something like that, so
Yeah.
various topics can be like, okay, by real estate pay, you give a talk, sir, you are giving a talk on, because you are mentoring so many companies. Awareness. So knowledge center.
Not getting into the nitty-gritty awareness.
We are a knowledge platform.
And another one, Mr. Sanjay Sethi pointed out was migration from villages to smaller towns and then finally to bigger cities. And he pointed out that the people who are migrating, they need mentoring, and should have a voluntary process to help them get into organizations and survive and teach them about the legal rights. Because I think they should really know about the legal rights, which are exploiting. They are being exploited. And this should be not only be done at the India level, but global level. And a very good suggestion was that we can start with Noida. Instead of spreading ourselves too wide, we should start with one point and start working. And Shavi Prabhakar, she has come up with really wonderful points which are very close to my heart also. First one was women empowerment. I'll meet the Pravasi Bharatiya for the second time. Women empowerment and financial independence for women, and encourage them to step out and help them get funding so that they can start something on their own. And
many things are happening.
Yeah.
People are not. I have come across women who don't know कि जो government की schemes हैं. If we do a session only on government schemes, लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि क्या benefits उनको मिल रहे हैं. That's a strange thing.
And she's very thorough with the problems of Pravasi Bharatiya, and she would like to get them back and connect them to India.
Get money back in India.
Into India. And it's, I think, a very wonderful idea. I would Ambassador Tripathi.
Well, friends,
Shalin bhai,
Mr. Vishnu Patra. There is one speaker.
Let's turn this around.
Is this working? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let me introduce him quickly. Mr. Vishnu Patra, currently, he is Director Assessment Solutions at Prometric India Limited. But he is a technocrat with 37 years of experience. So, and his career with strong leadership qualities as well as hands-on experience of project and management, service delivery, channel operations, business analysis, business development, management, so on and so forth. Basically, a guiding techno.
Yeah.
So, over to you.
Yeah. I've heard from everyone there is a desire to do something excellent. I'll maybe a little group. What I want to say is like I'll be blunt. Pardon me for that. Because we all have desires and we have to make it happen, right? Everybody has a noble thought. Even the government of India also has the same thoughts. There are so many yojanas, programs, everything is running, whatever we are talking about. What is that we can do? That's a very, difficult question to answer because everybody has his own business. Do I say that again? Can you give me some 10% of what you're trying? No. It's a very difficult ask. I mean, as rightly people say, if Jana platform brings a lead, you can get your 10%. So my comment is, how do we earn a basic revenue, independent? I mean, we have to run as a corporate world on any activity we do. Like Singapore, government is so good because they work as a corporate world, they get a salary. The people who are involved in the ministers, they get a salary package. So they contribute to it. And they measure by performance. Is that something we can do? So you contribute, I mean, then you need to fund. With 38,000 members, can we get $100 to start with? That's a small amount, right? To what people have earned, all of people have their qualifications, they've worked in different industries, and still you are active. Like I'm also 60, but like they ask me, like, as long as you can work, I mean, the company wants, and I'm fit, and still I want to work. It is going on. Because I thought if I sit down at home, do nothing, it's better to work. At least I can mental balance. I mean, recently I had some medical problem. I mean, I realized I never took care of myself. So lifestyle changes, which I've been doing in the last 2 months, I brought in 5 kilo down with simple exercises like no smoking, drinking. I mean, the last 2 months I would have had only 1 bottle of wine. My lunch and dinner has salads and soup. It's a complete makeover. So then people said, we also eat salad. I post in Facebook. So they say it's so colorful and this thing. I said, there's salad dressings. The way you need to prepare it so that it makes it interesting to have it. Then I was reading an article like children's the tiffin they carry, it's so bad. How do you expect them to grow? I mean, we're talking about education and everything. People studying in engineering college doesn't know anything of engineering. And we expect them to do a job and do a concept, not possible. Whatever we can do in the education segment is start from the scratch. Like yesterday, I went to get my computer repaired. I'm just giving an incident. The guy was not there. So there was a park close by. So I went to the park, which is a Delhi municipality park. There was something called organization called Standing and Strikes. I saw kids, somebody was taking classes. And the teachers were pretty old. I mean, they would have retired. So I could speak for a few. I mean, they were doing a lot of good things. They were teaching. They're asking, show me your eyes. 80% of kids do not know. And we are talking about doing so many things. And they were taught. This is my eyes. In Delhi, this is the situation. Then I saw for the health program, very simple things. They put a board which the doctors normally do, their optician, and one character of different size asking to check. And they were noting it down so that they can send to a doctor. So I would suggest, I mean, this is my comments is, first create a fund, create a corporate world, hire people so that you can support all your things to have the XENA platform. So that people are getting money, they will work. You need the initial level. I think like I do, I mean, the last 3 years, I did a lot of my cooking and everything. The second day I did my paintings and I've inspired at least 10 people who did in the school time to start painting again. Very little things I did. And right now people ask me to work on the lifestyle changes. Please work on this program and let us know how we can make it more interesting, which I'm doing right now. I became a calculator and I had to do something different. I go for a 1 hour, when somebody was talking 1 hour walking, which I never did in my last 60 years. I never got up at 6:30. I'm doing that. I have to get an alarm, a call from home, just to do that. So things can happen. So make it strong. to give the Jana some money to operate. Whatever the themes, there are different themes have come in. I think there are certain themes which are very good, and it is not capital intensive at all. We cannot do that. Let's focus only on something on our skills. Like there may be, inside sales team who could work on calling people and getting the things done. So you set up the team. It's a generous team. It will help your business as well as gets a revenue. But the revenue stuff is there. And that part of the money you can use for non-revenue. Wherever you there. So you ask people who have got time in the weekend. There would be a professional organization managing your timings and everything is available, and then you will put the slot. Or we'll do a telecalling and find out whether you're there. Is this something interesting, like using his skills, your skills? His skills. Because you all can give. Private platform. That's the reason remuneration is coming. So that remuneration, if Chennai brings it as a base and get that event done, then getting 10%, you also don't feel bad. So this is my comments.
And these are
so we have to get it rolling because I've seen the greet and meet and all these things happen. And as soon as we leave this table, they're out. Back to our basic business or whatever we do. So the next meeting of this thing is we should have and decide, yes, the 10 people, we want to do this work. Close it before we go for our lunch. I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it is, I talk and I go back and I do my personal thing. And the next meeting is there. And the second thing is, when Rajiv organizes a meeting, I don't see people coming on time. Why need a follow-up? You're committing and saying that you have some time and you would provide it. If you don't have time, it's okay. If you're doing a meeting in white, accept it. You should be making yourself available. Like today, I normally, there were a lot of coordination. Yesterday, the courier was supposed to come to my house. I didn't know that for this. So he asked me whether did you get it. I said, I don't know. There was one lady who asked my PIN code. Okay. That lady was called. Then she said they have shipped this one. Then I went to her and asked the security guard, is there any courier? He said 10 minutes back the courier came. Then he asked me, find out how will I insert the paper or anything is there. Then I got this thing printed, the schedule. I went to the local shop because my computer was down, personal computer, and office computer, I cannot do anything much, all secure. I got it printed.
And I'm anxious only because,
what I'm saying is, make a decision before you leave what you want to do and go back.
And you're raising very practical points. Very practical points. They are like,
just take a minute. What I want to say is, he has been a very
Shalin bhai, can you shift the thing?
कर दिया ना?
What I suggest
नहीं cover. अभी I think Jitendra भैया को आना है. He is not.
Let us identify some people who have the skills. What those skills are. So what he has suggested that there will be some people who have expertise in managing.
Shalin bhai, Ambassador Jitendra Tripathi has to come on picture.
Yeah, I know. He's just making a quick comment,
Okay.
Dr.
So,
sure.
There will be 2 or 3 persons who would take the responsibility for managing the talents or the skills. And let there be other people who tell what is the skill which is sellable or which can earn money for them. So what he's saying, right, that we can meet and eat and then go away and then.
Ambassador, sir, I'll introduce you first. So is this
शालिन भाई थोड़ा और आप शिफ्ट करें और थोड़ा हाँ या
Tripathi is a retired IFS officer. Many of us must have watched him on national television as well. He was the ambassador of India to Zimbabwe. His vast experience, across several continents, perhaps all of them except Antarctica. I don't know whether people count Antarctica also. Africa, Europe, Middle East, and Latin America. He has served in various capacities in various Indian missions in Zambia, Maldives, Hungary, Sweden, Venezuela, and Oman before taking up a very pivotal post of Consul General of India in Sao Paulo, Brazil, part of a BRICS bloc. So, again, he served as regional passport officer in Lucknow, deputy secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, was also director in the Indian, or rather is, I'm not sure about that, director in the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. His keen interest in keeping abreast, the latest developments and international affairs, of course. And he appears on national TV channels for panel discussions on these issues. He also contributes articles related to foreign policy and diplomacy, various periodicals. Member of the Association of Indian Diplomats, Ambassador Tripathi is also a keen golfer and a poet, and perhaps that's why he knows about, Dr. Nautiyal's poetry. In addition to Hindi, English, and Urdu, 3 languages very close to me. He is well versed in Spanish, which I know anything.
Because of my well, दोस्तों, सबसे पहले तो मैं इस बात को कहना चाहूंगा कि हमारे पास समय बहुत है, इसलिए मैं जल्दी ही खत्म करूँ। मैं नहीं जानता कि जितनी चीजें उसमें लिखी हैं मैं सबके लायक हूँ कि नहीं, लेकिन 2 ही चीजें यह है कि ये मीटिंग जो हम लोगों की हुई, इसमें इतने सारे आइडियाज, इतने सारे विचार निकल करके आए कि मेरे ख्याल से समय की बड़ी कमी थी और विचार कम नहीं थे। लेकिन इसमें से हमें एक चीज ये देखना चाहिए कि मैं जो सजेस्ट करता हूँ, एक तो जो पातुर साहब ने कहा बहुत सही है कि पहले हमें कुछ कॉर्पस को फंड रखना चाहिए, शुरुआत, स्क्रैच से हम कोई चीज नहीं शुरू करेंगे। दूसरी चीज ये है कि जितने विचार आए इन सबको हम एक साथ कंसीडर नहीं कर सकते, एक बार में 1 या 2। कुछ दिन पहले अंदर तक जानते हैं कि एक हमने XENA की और मीटिंग हुई थी, उसमें जैसे 2 चीजें वो की गई थी। तो एक तो रैग पिकर्स को, स्ट्रीट के रैग पिकर्स जो है कचरा वाले, उनके लिए कुछ करना, और दूसरे ये विमेन के लिए था। तो अब मैं देखिए इसमें तो 2-3 चीजें मैं कहना चाहूंगा। लीगल सर्विसेज लीगल सर्विसेज के लिए, फ्री लीगल सर्विसेज वगैरह के लिए हमारे पास जो है बड़े अच्छे मेंबर्स हैं। विवेक नारायण शर्मा है, वो के विवेक नारायण शर्मा जो कि स्टैंडिंग काउंसिल है सुप्रीम कोर्ट के, वो इसमें काफी काम कर रहे हैं, उनसे बात कीजिए। डॉक्टर नौटियाल ने जो कहा स्मार्ट एजुकेशनल एक्टिविटीज का, उसके साथ में एक चीज और जोड़ना चाहता हूँ, छोटा सा, मैं ज्यादा समय नहीं दूंगा। देखिए ऐसा है कि हम भी जब स्कूल में पढ़ते थे बचपन में कस्बे में, तो हमको बताया जाता था ये टेस्ट ट्यूब होता है, ये माइक्रोस्कोप होता है, ये हम फोटो देखते थे, ये लेंस होता है, हम समझ नहीं पाते थे कैसे पत्ती जैसा लेंस कैसे होता है। अगर कुछ ऐसा हो कि स्कूलों में, गाँवों के और कस्बों की स्कूलों में चीजें दिखाई जाए, लेट साइंस गो टू विलेज, टू गो स्कूल चिल्ड्रन, बजाय इसके कि स्कूल चिल्ड्रन 12th में जाके या BC में जाके लेंस देखें। तो ये कुछ अगर ऐसा कुछ हो सके तो उनको साइंस में इंटरेस्ट उनका जागृत किया जा सकता है। और दूसरी चीज मेरे कुछ जो ये इसके साथ सजेशन मेरा एक छोटा सा है कि स्टूडेंट्स, गरीब छात्र बहुत अच्छे होते हैं जिनको स्कॉलरशिप नहीं मिलती, लेकिन बैंक से लोन भी नहीं मिल पाता है। स्कीम है कि बैंक से लोन मिल जाता है, लेकिन क्या होता है उसके लिए गारंटर चाहिए। तो शायद हम बैंकिंग सेक्टर में एक्सपीरियंस है इनका, प्रभाकर का, इनकी मदद से कुछ ऐसा कर सकते हैं, आसानी हो, कोई एक जगह हम देख सकते हैं उसमें ये कोशिश कर सकते हैं। इसके साथ ही जैसा कि शेट्टी साहब ने कहा, बहुत अच्छा है कि हम स्कीम बनाए, एक छोटा सा ग्रुप बनाया है जो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स के लिए काम करने आते हैं, कंपनीज में काम करने आते हैं, इनिशियल टीरिंग प्रॉब्लम के लिए हम कुछ कर सकते हैं। तो ये कई बहुत बढ़िया चीजें थी जो कि हम कर सकते हैं। सपोर्ट सिस्टम बना सकते हैं, ट्रेनिंग जो कर सकते हैं, एक्लेमेटाइजेशन, मेंटरिंग वगैरह की काम कर सकते हैं। तो मेरे यही सजेशंस होंगे एक चीज छोटी सी ये कर सकते हैं, हम लोग अपने अपने स्फेयर में हम लोग एक्सपीरियंस है। आजकल दुनिया का भारत के जो युवा हैं वो सिर्फ नौ सरकारी नौकरी की तलाश में ज्यादा करता है। वेरियस स्टेट टू वेरियस सर्विसेज के लिए हम कोचिंग दे सकते हैं, मिलिट्री के लिए, आर्म फोर्सेस के लिए, सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए और उसके लिए। लेकिन इसमें बस सबसे पहले वही देखना होगा कि हमारे पास और दूसरी चीज ये जितने विचार हैं इनमें से दो एक ही हमें सेलेक्ट करना होगा, क्योंकि सभी चीजों को करना चाहेंगे तो कुछ नहीं। थैंक यू।
I will introduce Mr. Vasudev Mukherjee, so that he can give a quick vote of thanks.
Shalin
He
bhai,
is a full-time
laptop
sure,
position.
sure. Laptop.
Yeah. Sanitizer darling, the camera
height is fine. Mr. Vasudev Mukherjee is a full-time Assistant Secretary General at SHL. He is an alumnus of St. Columbus School. After that, he completed his Masters in Business Economics from Delhi University, I guess, South Campus, and that's a very good program indeed. Before his present engagement, with SHM, he was head international research at CII, so he's worked with quite a few industrial bodies, and international research, obviously, because of his expertise in both economics as well as management. He's also the director of Center for Management Development Plans at AIMA, that's All India Management Association. He's executive director at Indian Staffing Federation in New Delhi, and also director at Aspen Institute. Aspen is a leadership institute.
Correct.
Yeah. So, what is
I'm ready. Thank you. I'm listening to everybody around this table has been quite inspiring. Heard so many wonderful ideas. Just truly humbling. One idea which particularly appealed to me was Mr. Sethi's about the need to do something about migrant workers coming to Delhi, NCR region. I remember during my time with the Indian Staffing Federation, when we set it up, I think it was 2011, that nobody would talk to us. We represented all the ethical temporary staffing players. So the team leases, the manpowers, the LHSs of the world, people who are actually providing temporary manpower, contractual manpower to companies, but at an ethical, they're paying all the PF and everything that was due to the staff. No, initially nobody would talk to us, nobody said anything to us. Then all of a sudden, Maruti happened. The entire incident at the Banaswara factory of Maruti happened. All the bloodshed that happened there, and everything changed overnight. We were getting calls from corporate saying that, how can you help us? So before something like that happens again, this is with migrant workers coming back into Delhi, and you have this potentially explosive situation. Before something, adverse happens, I think we need to do something and address that issue and find outlets for these people who are, PhDs digging manholes are not accepted. So we need to find more appropriate work for them. So that was one thing which really appealed to me. And I'd like to thank everybody around this room for being here, for being with us, and for sharing all their ideas. I'm sure Rajiv will be taking these back and figuring out how to take these forward next. So thank you all. Thank you.
Sure. We introduce, Professor Vinay Pandey now. He is,
Shalin bhai.
Sure.
Yeah.
Professor Professor Vinay Pandey's career can be compartmentalized two different sense. He worked with the Indian Air Force. No, but in 2000, I guess, short service commission.
No, it was for 20 years.
For about 20 years. Okay, so you don't look उसके बाद इनका distinguished career रहा है teaching. Having had distinguished term with IAF, formal commendations भी होंगे लिखे नहीं, and an equally vibrant civil career becomes a very colossal experience of over 4 decades, ranging from engineering, academics, industrial experience to areas such as patients with patients and as an all-rounder. This is second to none. The areas of responsibilities shared during his diversified stints. Pretty versatile indeed. He has very sound for many languages, a list of languages. Quite a few polyglots here. Perhaps you can just on this. Passions include writing in general, obviously, also languages, and expressing his thoughts in the form of poetry, including lots of poets also. About also one of these
Very good.
Yeah, published a book on poems.
but
Collection from the Janaka.
it did not allow me to complete. The last sentence is very important. और किसी की प्रोफाइल में मैंने इस तरह का स्टेटमेंट देखा है, so there must be a reason for this. The traits of dedication, punctuality, and sincerity add to his personality, and absolutely.
He told to come to my house at particular time and he came on that time. It made me come here also on time.
Good. So, over to you.
In fact, I have been trusted with the peculiar responsibility of delivering few words of goodbye in local language. सेना की कोशिश रही है हमेशा रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस को भी थोड़ा सा बढ़ावा दिया जाए। मैं भोजपुरी ऐसी भाषा है जिसको मेरे ख्याल से आप सब लोग समझ पाए। अदर देन साउथ इंडियंस आई थिंक हिंदी भाषी जो भी लोग समझ लेते। तो सबसे पहले हम भोजपुरी में शुरू आप सब लोगों के साथ रह के आज जो खुशी हमरा हो रहा था, जे तरह के सौभाग्यशाली हम अपना समझते हैं, बहुत ही यादगार रही। बहुत सारे पर हम सब लोगों ने बात कही, तरह तरह की जानकारी, तरह तरह की सूचना, तरह तरह की सबक सीखे के मिला। न केवल हमरा खाती बल्कि हमने के पूरे जना परिवार खाती बहुत ही सौभाग्यशाली बात पर जैसे की कोशिश रहे राजीव सर के हमेशा रीजनल लैंग्वेज को लोग आगे बढ़ाओ जाए। वही क्रम में हमरा सौभाग्य मिलल भोजपुरी में बात कर बनी बड़े लोगों के सामने, सब प्रबुद्धजन के सामने, सब लोगों के हमरा तरफ से हृदय से आभार बा। सब लोग के बहुत साधुवाद बा। हमरा तो मौका मिल बा इतना प्रबुद्धजन के बीच में बैठ के बात करें, खास करके दो रिटायर्ड एम्बेसडर लोग से मिले खातिर भी से कला कई बार बहुत मुश्किल हुई। इतना बड़ा सौभाग्य कहाँ दे सकता है। यही सब के साथ में भोजपुरी में आप सब लोगों से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करते बनी। ऐसा सोचता नहीं कि अक्सर हम रियल वर्ल्ड में मिली जाए हमेशा, क्योंकि कोविड के वजह से पहले हमेशा वर्चुअल मीटिंग्स वगैरह होता रहा है, लेकिन अब ये कोविड भी खत्म बा, हमने के भी बड़ा सीरियस बनी जा से किया रियल वर्ल्ड में क्लासरूम वही दिशा में हम चाहते कि हम सब सदस्य आगे बढ़े। इन सब शब्दों के साथ बहुत बहुत आभार। जय
विनय भाई छवि बैना का
वो करना है, मुझे याद है राजीव।
वो करके फिर वो लास्ट वाला दे सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल
मेरे को टेंशन हो जाता है जब हम नहीं देख पा रहे हैं।
2:30 पे ही खत्म करना था, लेकिन इसका 15 मिनट फोटोग्राफी सेशन का, लेकिन वी फॉरगॉट वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Dr. Nautiyal is going to present to someone, a certificate of acknowledgement as well as appreciation for being the most valued member for this year. The XENA family, and it goes to Chavi.
Again, for what? For what?
ये
Rajiv ji, what is this?
शैलेंद्र भाई फोकस आप करते चले.
नहीं, but thank you very much, but I don't think I really deserve anything. I haven't done anything.
That's why you do.
Spoken like a true civil servant.
There was actually a jury. There was actually a jury.
एक इधर से भी ले लीजिए कि बाकी लोग भी आ जाए.
हाँ, नहीं अब फोटोग्राफी ही करनी है 10-15 मिनट.
अच्छा.
बस वही है. सही. गाना भी सुनेंगे.
गाना
ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये मुझे दे रही है? क्या हुआ?
Yeah, that's very good.
दोनों को फायदा है.
एक फोटो मैं भी लगा लूंगा घर में.
Of course, of course. No, but thank you very much, and Rajiv Bhaiya, no one has seen. I have not seen. Rajiv ji,
मैंने देखा.
Till the time you're on
Can
G,
you
you will not see
फोटो
me.
देखा.
Our commitment is till the time you will be on Rajiv Ji, you can't see me. The moment you say Bhaiya, I will appear.
no, that's on a more formal note. Otherwise, yes, Rajiv Bhaiya, but thank you very much. I think the only thing which has happened is, like everyone else, Rajiv Bhaiya, I think we connected about 5 years back, I think. And somewhere, the XENA family has been growing, lot has happened. I'm connected, maybe not to an extent I would want, but I have been there for the last over 5 years now. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
5 years? Hanji. So thank you very much. And in any case, today we all have discussed, and I'm seeing something coming out of, action points which have come out today. All of us, I think we have zeroed on to 2-3 things, and we are all, and I think, probably we look for maybe form small committee or a forum, and each one of us starts working on it. Jaise aapke jo suggestion hai, we will see where we can contribute, and so I'm seeing something emerging out of our meeting today, and I already have a role model here, ma'am. I'm so happy we've connected here, and
अरे विनय भाई छवि बहना को खाली सर्टिफिकेट दिए, उनका गिफ्ट नहीं दिए. वो लाना भूल गए थे क्या?
पढ़ी लिखी.
हाँ विनय भाई,
तो क्या बोलना फिर राजीव?
गिफ्ट कौन सा? नौटियाल साहब वाला क्या?
नहीं, जो विष्णु पात्रों के घर में गया होगा, मीनाक्षी भेजी थी.
आपके घर से कौन आया था?
ये है ना?
क्या चीज की?
नो टेम्पलेट्स का?
नहीं टेम्पलेट्स के अलावा कुछ आया
और कुछ नहीं है.
ठीक है सर.
कोई नहीं, उनके घर पे भिजवा देंगे.
कोई बात नहीं.
हाँ, इनका खाली एड्रेस, विनय भाई, छवि बहना का एड्रेस आप ले लीजिए.
हाँ, वो ले लेंगे.
वो आजकल क्या ओला कैब या क्या होता है,
Thank you very much.
ये सीधा कर दो.
अब ठीक है, अब सही।
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
you, Lord.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, मैं अपना कार्ड नहीं लाया, भूल गया तो किसी को दे नहीं पाया। मेरे ख्याल
नहीं सर,
अभी जरूरत नहीं
वर्चुअल कार्ड, सर वर्चुअल कार्ड, वर्चुअल कार्ड इन एनी केस हम लोग का ग्रुप है ही,
अगर आप बोल दें इसे रिकॉर्ड कर लें और इसे हम अपने फेसबुक पे डाल देंगे।
किसी अच्छा क्या करें फोटोग्राफ थोड़े बोल दीजिए।
हाँ, मेरा फोन नंबर प्लीज नोट कीजिए क्योंकि मैं किसी को दे नहीं पाया कार्ड। मेरा फोन नंबर 9650691602 और ईमेल jitutrips@hotmail.com।
नहीं तो
प्लीज
नहीं तो जरा वर्ड पे भी शेयर कर।
हाँ, नहीं और सबका भी
मेरे पास भी कार्ड है, मैं एक तरफ
जी जी जी
Can we log off?
फूड पर थोड़ा
Rajiv, can we log off now?
Farewell flower has been given.
एक ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ हो जाएगा।
Sorry?
The thank you card and flower, yellow color flower.
Just 1 second, I can't hear.
The thank you card and the yellow flower, that is over.
Yeah, everybody has been given the flowers and the card.
The thank you card.
Is there a thank you card?
Just inquire Vinay Pandey.
Thank you card, kuch he's giving right now.
Right? I could not see that happening. Just after that, you can log out.
Acha, he's bas application.
अभी एक फोटो लेता तीन का काम करना ठीक है फिर मैं आता हूं मैं उधर हो ना सर अभी इसको भी शायद कर दो इसको एक ही डाल देते हैं ना आप भी आ जाओ हाँ